Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Nobody Asked Us. Jess and Kara presented by Brooks Running. I can't look at you, Des.
Great show. I was fixing my mic. I'm sorry.
You're laughing at me.
No.
So we had some technical issues. We started the episode, and now we're starting over again.
Good job. Way to go. Way
Is
to bring
your mic
it in
okay?
with the enthusiasm. Second time. Yeah, my mic's okay. I was just fixing the stand, so it's like close enough.
Close enough to your face?
Yeah.
I was wondering like I was about to hit you there.
What? No, it's not that close. Some buffer room.
Nice.
What's new? What's going on? How's your weekend? How's life? I feel like you've had a lot going on.
It has not been great.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, we've had better times as a family. So basically there was this horrible windstorm in Colorado, and it was coming down the Front Range, which is where we live. And like the place where it was the most heightened is where we live, like funnels down from Golden down 93 amongst the foothills. That's exactly where we live. So we were warned on Monday that there might be power outages on Wednesday when this thing was happening. We were warned to stay off the roads. Colt still had school. We lost power Wednesday for about 5 hours. It wasn't a big deal. We knew that might happen. The funny thing was so the south side of our house, there seems to be like the wind goes by so fast there. So Adam ratcheted down all the furniture and everything. But on the front of our house, it's kind of blocked by some walls and like decking. Mm-hmm. And we have a big table and chairs there. And he just like tucked it all in, being like, that'll be fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Oh no, that shit blew off all over the yard, broken chairs. But anyway.
Hunting down pieces.
Oh yeah. It was like, oh great. But so the rest of the house was fine. A couple screens blew off, but we found them. Nothing major. Colt was at school. A window blew out at school. You know, I went to go pick him up. My car was literally like shaking, and there were fences down, trees down everywhere. It was definitely dangerous to be outside. So we get home, we don't have power. And what's crazy is like where we're living, it feels apocalyptic. But if you just go a couple miles east, everything's fine.
Like normal.
Yeah. Like Adam went and picked up burritos. Everyone else has power. Like that's no big deal. So that was Wednesday. And then our power came back on that night, which was awesome. And then right before we went to bed, we got a notification. Colt was already asleep, but we got a notification that they had canceled school for Thursday because of the power outages.
Did you wake him up and tell him?
We didn't tell him
in the morning. Surprise!
Yeah. So the next morning, I went in his room to do something. Maybe I was going to close the door, and he like popped up. And Margot's light in her tank comes on after he wakes up, and her light was on. And he just sat up in bed and he goes, "Mom!" And I'm like, "You don't have school. Calm down." He was like, "Oh my gosh," I was ready to just yell because we wake him up. And so he was home all day, and we were like, "This is going to be so fun. Like, let's just like binge watch Netflix." Like we've been trying to rewatch Stranger Things. And as soon as we it was like 11 o'clock and we're like, "All right, let's do this." The power goes out. Yeah. So the power was out from like 11 to like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 again. And that night it came on again. And then before he went to bed, we were told he didn't have school on Friday because Friday was again high wind warning. And, you know, like there was a gust read at like 108 miles per hour where we live, you know? So it's like serious stuff. Yeah. And there was already so much stuff down. So Friday they got school canceled again. He found out before he went to bed. And we were warned they might do like preventative power outages. Like but when we looked on the map, we weren't in it. We're like, okay, sweet. Well, whatever. Colt's going to be home. We'll watch movies, all that stuff again. No. So Friday, I actually got a run in on the treadmill, and Adam comes down. He just starts his workout, and then the power goes out. So I don't know. I don't know what time it was. It's all blending together now. Maybe around 10 a.m. And then we didn't have power again until last night around 8 o'clock maybe.
Okay.
So
it's a couple days.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
It was
so what
2.5 days.
What did you get up to? You weren't watching Netflix?
No.
Did you guys buy a lantern, some candles? Did you have a fire going?
We didn't have a fire going. No. We do have a wood-burning fireplace, but it's in our guest room, and we have never lit it since we've been here, so we don't know what the situation's like inside.
Hold off, right.
And then we have a gas fireplace, but we popped the grill off, but we couldn't find where you would like light the pilot light. Like it's on a switch. We couldn't get it. So we basically just like stayed upstairs because it wasn't too cold upstairs. At least the first day it wasn't cold at all. And we like played games. We played categories and taboo. All this stuff is great. It's like family building, but after a while we're like,
For a
I don't
day.
want to talk to you anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, for
And
one
then it
day.
gets dark so early. So at like
Oh, yeah.
4:45, you're like, okay, well, um, so yeah, we've just been really bored. And Adam's uncle was in town and he came over on Saturday and he lives in Florida. And the poor guy, we like froze him out. He after a while,
Oh.
we're like, we have to leave because it was starting to get. I don't remember what the temperature was. Maybe it was around 60 or something in the house. And he was like, yeah, no, I'm cold. So we went and grabbed a beer and like went, and there was all these people from our neighborhood in there just trying to stay warm. And then yesterday we were supposed to host like this Christmaka Hanukkah celebration, but we didn't have power. So we pivoted and went to my sister-in-law's house. And we charged all of our devices while we were there because we didn't know when we'd have power and stuff. And we brought Margot. Oh, that was one thing I was
Mm,
super worried about. So I woke
yeah.
up Saturday morning and I just started to panic about Margot because it's like she's super easy pet to have, except for that her little habitat it's very specific, you know?
Yeah.
So I woke up on Saturday, I just started to panic. I'm like, she's gonna freeze to death. Like she can go a
Oh.
day being cold, but like she doesn't live in Colorado or Minnesota. Like she lives in the desert, you know? So she lives in Australia. So we went and Adam was trying to Google, but our phones haven't been working either, which also didn't make us feel very
Right.
safe, by the way. But he saw something that said you can use hand warmers. So it was so
Okay.
weird. We drive like a mile past our house and all of a sudden
Normalville.
shops are open. Like
Yeah.
Pearl Street's a mile from our house and people are bustling down there, getting their coffee and shopping. And we're like living in the dark times. It's so weird. Anyway, we got her a bunch of hand warmers and she seemed to like that. But we brought her yesterday to my sister-in-law's house and just had her on a heating pad the whole time.
Oh.
And she definitely perked up because she hadn't eaten since Wednesday. And she
Yeah.
ate a bunch of blueberries for everybody. She was like a little show pony. She was like eating blueberries. So that perked her up. And
Put a
then
little
when
cowboy hat on her.
yeah, we didn't bring it. But anyway, the power came back on last night. Very happy about that. Super grateful, feeling super happy and like grateful. And then we found out this morning that our Minnesota house is frozen. Pipes are frozen. Everything's frozen. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
brutal. I mean, at least you had that moment in there where you got to like feel a deep breath. Because imagine if that connected into not having power.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know. I think I
Yeah,
would have
no,
lost it.
no, it's yeah, this Minnesota situation so like yeah, we wrote all this stress. And again, first world problems, like I finally went to my friend's house and showered yesterday. I'd been taking these like 30-second long showers where I would like splash myself with water,
Freezing,
soap up,
yeah.
and then splash myself with water and get out. And she was like, you need to just come shower. So she lives not even 10 minutes away, Kate, Robbie, and Adam and I just ran from her house and showered there. And we felt like $1,000,000. It was like
Yeah.
so nice. So it was like, it sucked, but it wasn't the end of the world, you know? But this whole Minnesota power situation is really, really, really stressing me out. So the house there has had some problems here and there. We've done a lot of updating to it that you can't see, but just try to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen. And someone went in it today because we were supposed to be going there next week. And they were like, everything in your house is frozen.
FYI.
Literally everything's frozen. Your toilets are frozen. The pipes are frozen. There's no
Dang.
heat coming out. So
Do you guys not have power then there? Or is it power out? Or did just the temperatures drop too low?
we actually have a generator there.
Okay.
And so that should never be an issue. But I guess the igniter had gone out on the boiler and I don't really understand it all, but I know that the heat is kicked on now, but all the water is turned off because we need the house to thaw and
Then
thaw
get
as
to
slowly as possible.
surprise and delight of what has made it and what hasn't. Oh, no.
So yeah, we're just like praying that nothing bursts, and if it does, it's like minor or we catch it right away.
Yeah.
But right now, yeah, being a homeowner is really, really stressful.
I was just going to say that. I feel like there's a lot of conversations right now about being a homeowner. And, it's such a tough thing and the prices and this and that. But I think people really, really underestimate the value of renting.
Yeah.
This situation alone.
Oh,
And
this Minnesota situation is so stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had problems with this house before. It's built in a very unique way where it's not on the ground.
Oh,
it's
nice.
on stilts up above.
Yeah.
Which in northern Minnesota is an interesting choice,
Okay. Why is that? I was thinking the snow would come like high enough that's like.
No, it's just like a floating house essentially.
Oh.
And it's very cool because has great views of the property and of the lake,
Yeah.
but practical wise, there's nothing, there's no like
Yeah.
foundation keeping it
Foundation,
warm and
sure.
keeping. So we've had already been creative. We had to put like the previous owner who actually built it just had like one pump system for all of the 5 zones in the house. We put in 5 separate, because this has happened once before, but we caught it before everything froze over.
Hmm.
Colt and I went out there and I'm like, the heat doesn't work. And so we were like 24 hours away from disaster. So there was a little ice in the pipes, but it hadn't frozen completely.
Yeah.
So we put a lot of money into like putting in all these different zones, putting in additional pumps, but it just continues to be a challenge for us. And my mom, before she had her accident last year, or her incident, whatever you want to call it, she would go over and run the water and flush the toilets, but she really can't. She can, but she's on her own journey right now.
Also, like that's a big ask when she's
it's like
dealing.
So she hasn't been doing that. So this isn't her fault. But my sister-in-law hosted a dinner there December 7th, and she said it was cold, but she turned up the heat and it did kick on, and that there was hot water. So this happened between December 7th and now. But I mean, it is like frozen.
Ooh.
So yeah, I just feel like I keep being like, just be grateful you have so much. You're so lucky. But I'm like, oh my God, I just want this house to like work. And like, at what point are you like, this isn't worth it anymore? You know what I mean? The stress and the money is outweighing the joy it's giving us. So I don't know. I'm like having a crisis. So I'm glad we're chatting.
Will you guys go out there? Is that's in the plans, right? Are you going to see the damage?
Yes. Well, we like to go in the winter because it's fun and it's different, right? It's like we love it in the summer. We love it in the winter. We love it in all seasons. It's just like different types of fun. We love to be on the lake. And believe it or not, we love to be on the lake in the winter. Adam always floods a little patch up from the lake and the kids skate on it. And so we love going out there in the winter. So we are supposed to be we are going out there. Not supposed to be. We're going out there next week. And we will probably at that point, if it's not obvious that a pipe is already broken by the time we get there, just based on like the leakage as the house warms up, Adam will slowly start turning the different water on in the house, and we'll just be like, please, 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 please.
I feel like, I don't know if that's better or worse, like, because it's obviously going to take away from your vacation. But I think when you're away and just getting reports, it's way more stressful because you can't like, it's like,
I know. It's like, I wish we were there so we could see it, and we could even just be in there, even if we didn't have water access, so we can be paying attention, because the house is warm now and it has power and everything. Anyway, I just feel like all I'm doing is complaining. But I told you before we started, like, I do feel like I've aged 10 years in the last week. Just like worrying about our house here, worrying about the pets, worrying about freaking Margot has taken up so much of my worry. And then finally I put it all to bed and I was like, oh, we're so blessed. We're so lucky. I'm so grateful. And then this morning I'm like, damn it.
You'll make it through another one, and then you'll be even more grateful.
I will. If we get there and everything is okay, we will be syrupy, sappy grateful. And,
I mean, everything will be okay. That's the thing.
I know. It's just like,
even if there's things that are wrong, it's like
it'll get fixed eventually.
You'll be okay. Which is good. But when you're in it, you're like, no, shut the hell up. I don't want to hear that right now.
I know. No, I do get it. It's good to be reminded. Today, Adam and I were just like, then it was like, oh, there's high wind warnings here again today. And I'm like, if our power goes out here, like, I actually can't take it. Like, that'll be the straw that breaks my back.
I was actually surprised that you guys weren't like, let's just get a hotel. Like, let's get out of here. Let's get a hotel. Like, I can't.
I know. We were saying last night, because Adam started looking at pet-friendly hotels Saturday afternoon. And I don't know why we didn't just do that.
Yeah.
Part of it is like, believe it or not, we're not big complainers.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, just like I slept in like socks and a sweatshirt and I was fine. In fact, Sunday morning, I woke up and my nose wasn't cold. And I was like, oh my God, the power must have come back on. And I jumped up and went in our bathroom and I clicked on the light and it didn't come on. I was like, dang it. But part of it is like, we're pretty, believe it or not, we're pretty like low
chill.
budge. Yeah, pretty chill. But he did say, but we had no idea it was going to last that long, right? Like
Yeah.
first it was cut out and it said you'll get like Friday when it went out, it was saying we were going to have it by 5 p.m. And then it was 10 p.m. And then it was the next day at noon. And then it got moved to 4. And then it got moved to 10. And then it got moved to the next day at noon. And then it got moved to 4. And then it got moved again till 10 p.m. or something on Sunday. So it's like we had no
it's
idea
like
how
false
long.
hope. They're
Yeah, it
dangling
was
out
like,
there.
well, we don't want to go to a hotel and then the power kicks on. But we were saying yesterday, we're going to invest in a generator.
Yeah.
We've decided because with the fire dangers here and with the warming weather and everything, like this is probably going to continue to be an issue. And so instead of like just being stressed out and playing the should we go to a hotel, should we not go to a hotel, like
generator.
maybe we should just invest in it. Like it seems crazy to invest in a generator. By the way, it's 66 degrees out today. It's so warm. It's bizarre. So it seems weird to like be like, well, even if we don't have power, who cares?
That. Yeah.
But I think
but even just getting stuff done, like we actually have a generator. We would lose power all the time at one of our homes, and there's like the sump pump in the basement.
Yes,
that keeps like it floods if it's not running, and so we're just like, dude, if we're gone.
Right.
And someone's not there to manage it. So we just got it for peace of mind because it would go out, like for an hour or two, but like
no big deal.
Once a month or something. And you're like, yeah, but if we're not here.
Right. And it lasts
that's enough,
long. Totally. Yeah.
So we finally did it and it's been great. I would recommend to a friend.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do it. We decided, we had this holiday celebration with the Addams family last night and they're like, you guys are so stubborn. Like, just go to a hotel or come to one of our houses. But we're like, well, it can't be much more longer.
Right. We've already,
like, well, we've gone this far. Like, but anyway, we made the decision, like, we're going to just do some research and invest in one. We were walking around our neighborhood on Saturday and we were so envious of the houses. You could hear, you hear their generators going and we were like so jealous. We'd be like,
anybody close by that you're like, hey, can we get a little
no one on our particular street, but definitely all around us. And it's just like stupid stuff, which it doesn't matter, but it does. Like we lost everything in the fridge and the freezer, which in the scheme of life is not a big deal. And Adam's like, I mean, it kind of forced us to clean out our fridge, but it also is just wasteful.
It's frustrating when you're just throwing away good stuff. Yeah.
It's like, it's time to just invest in one. And then when this happens, it won't cause so much stress. It's like, oh, now we just kick that on. And so
life is normal.
Yes. Yeah. We made that decision last night that we're just going to invest in one and save ourselves a lot of stress. And then we thought we were solving stress forever. And then we woke up to find out that the Minnesota house is frozen.
You need 2 generators. You need to do a combo pack.
I know. Oh, so anyway, enough about me. We survived it. Oh, that's the other thing though. So Colt had finals and now they have to do their finals when they get back from spring break or back from winter break. And he's like,
that's brutal.
Right. Like I'm ready now. I've been preparing.
You need to COVID that. Like, let's get online. Let's do the Zoom and let's get that done.
And they sent like an email saying like, we understand this is stressful for the kids. Like we want them to take the first week and be on break, but then we really encourage them to study that second week. I'm like,
no,
that sucks,
Yeah. And they have to make up those days, I'm sure, right?
I think that they're built. I think we have snow days built in, 1 or 2 snow days. So I think that should be okay as long as we don't have like a massive snowstorm.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just, like we were talking about it last night. Like when we found out he didn't have school, we were like, this is going to be so fun. We're going to binge watch shows and eat popcorn. And then none of that happened, But we're fine and safe. And I need to just get over myself.
You just need to get the generator.
The stress has been high.
Generator approved.
Yeah. Oh no, we made that decision last night. We're like, we are buying one. And Adam, whatever research you need to do, get it done. Because the next time this happens, it'll be worth it. Yeah. It'll definitely be worth it.
Then it's like you're kind of like a brat about it. You're like, yeah, we're good. We're fine.
You're going to shut off the power? Okay.
Yeah. Do it for a little longer. We need to test this thing out.
Yeah, exactly. Then our neighbors will feel the way we felt when we were walking the dogs and we were like so envious of all the houses that had their lights on and there was just happiness coming out of their house.
It was like extra happy.
Yes, we were like, we're happy for you, but we hate you.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. So basically what we need here, we need some moisture. Like we need a heavy rain or snowfall because it is just so dry and
That's
the winds
weird.
are so
66.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's too warm and the humidity, like that's the warning today. The humidity is so low and the winds are not as bad as they were Wednesday or Friday, but they're still pretty bad. And it's like, it is just so dangerous for fire right now. So we need a soaker. If the weather gods can hear us, just please soak us.
Yeah.
We need it. Yeah.
All right. We'll put in a good word.
Yeah. Okay. Enough about me. Good Lord. Let's move on.
No, that's okay. That was a I was watching some of the updates on the Instagram.
Yeah.
So was
I
like,
do want to say,
kind of
I cannot believe how nice people were. Like teammates of Colts, their moms were reaching out to me. You can use our house. Emma Coburn's like, go to one of my rental places. Like people were so nice. Like we had so many people sending us DoorDash gift cards. Like to everyone that reached out, thank you. We had so many people offering to stay in their basements, to stay in their house, to shower. Like it was actually incredible.
Yeah.
We're just stubborn. And we're like, we stay with the house. Like we're those people that like go down because they won't leave the
You're
house.
on the Titanic.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
We're gonna be fine. So thank you. So many people, too many to actually personally think. That's how many people. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we really, really, really appreciate it. And if it had gotten really dire, we would have taken you guys up on it, but we survived it.
There you go. Well, you missed out on some fun stuff. There was some racing this weekend that I don't think you
I have
your
no idea
phone,
what happened.
Available for, but I think we did want to talk about, I feel like we recorded right before this Grand Slam track stuff dropped last week. And I do feel like last week we were like, okay, this is it. We never really have to talk about this again.
I know.
And then it was like news dump. These are people are owed this much money and yada, yada. So do you want to talk about that a little bit? I don't know. We can do it quickly or we can spend some time on it.
I mean, I think it's newsworthy. I think it is funny that we were like, we're not talking about this. We're done. And
this is it.
Like 2 hours after we recorded, the monetary values that were owed to people was released. I was like, oh my gosh, well, now we're going to have to talk about this again.
I know.
But yeah.
All right. Well, I think the big thing, there was a lot of numbers of who was owed what, which kind of included athlete appearance fee plus bonus, like prize money, it seemed like. And, there's kind of like this, they've been paid 50% or maybe they haven't, or it's all pretty murky, at least from my perspective. I haven't dug into too many articles on it. But I think the big thing that stood out for a lot of people was Citius Mag being one of the folks who's owed money and a fairly significant amount. I mean, it was over $250,000. And I think it struck a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, they were owed just under $273,000. And that did not include when Chris Chavez was a commentator. He said that was separate. So that didn't include his commentating fee when he sat in the chair. So I think a lot of people are like, wow. And I think the number surprised some people, but I also think people were like, wait, what? They were getting paid to do that. And so that also raised like another really big conversation.
Yeah, I think journalism as a whole in the sport has gotten a little bit, again, I'm going to use the word murky. And we've seen this like kind of snowballing where there was things at the World Championships in Eugene where it was like, no, I'm a journalist. I'm asking questions. This isn't fluff. This like, I need to report. And then there was another group that was quote unquote creators or, content, I guess, creators, whatever, influencers. And their take on it was a lot different. And so we've seen this sort of tension in mixed zones, I guess. And so this was kind of another example of how the landscape is changing and journalism isn't, I don't know, I don't want to say it isn't what it used to be because I think that it should be. And there is this separate entity of like professional journalists, rules, morals, ethics. This is how you do journalism. And then there's media and content creation. And so I feel like Citius really flirts with both sides.
Yeah.
And this is where it really stood out when they're being paid this large sum, but didn't necessarily disclose that we're promoters, not hard-hitting journalists, and not even hard-hitting journalists, but like giving you information, getting news, breaking stories. We're actually promoters of this event. What did you feel about that? What did you think about that?
Yeah, I have to admit that I'm not a Citius Mag podcast listener. So
Yeah.
when Citius Mag started, Chris Chavez came from Sports Illustrated, which is very journalism.
Hmm.
And so I just assumed it was the same vein. And I've definitely, like, I appreciate their content. They pump it out. They get a lot of great interviews. They get stuff up quick. Like, if I can't be in an event, they're posting stuff very quickly, results and stuff, which I really appreciate. And there's a need for that. But I did sometimes get this feeling of like, oh, they're fans. They're not necessarily journalists. Like, they're hanging with the athletes and their fans and their friends. And that does feel a little different than someone who's just there to report the facts of what's happening in the race or whatever. That's not necessarily good or bad. It just is what it is. And then so when all this happened, I was reading some stuff, and I guess that Chavez has said, like, there's a difference between big J and little J in journalism, and we've never claimed to be big J. Again, I guess he said this on the pod, which I don't listen to. I don't consume that. So that's not like a slam. I just only have
Right.
so much
Too much
time or
capacity.
whatever. Yeah. And if they're interviewing someone that I need to know about, I would listen to that. It's not a slam. It's just like, I only have so much time to consume content. So I've never heard him explain that before. So it's not that I'm like, oh, Citius is so evil, but I am like, oh, there are rules. You have to like disclose partnerships. And it's not even just one big announcement. The rules say every single post.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely didn't happen. And I think it kind of exposed maybe a bigger problem of that these rules aren't really followed.
Yeah, I guess who does that fall back on? Is that 100% on Citius, or is that on Grand Slam to say these are our partners, or is it on both of them? And I don't know. I feel like it's happening more and more where you see these media companies teamed up with sponsors and, at events brought to you by Hoka, and we're obviously
Mm-hmm.
partnered, presented by Brooks.
Yep.
Should we be doing more, do you think? Whose responsibility is it? And,
I
how
think
can we
it's
do a
our
better job?
responsibility.
Yeah.
Our responsibility is to say presented by Brooks or partnered with Brooks or paid for by Brooks every time we do an episode that they're contributing to. Like,
Right.
that's
And I
how
guess
it
I don't think
works.
I don't think people are like morons, but can you just go into like why that matters in the content you're getting? And I think we both felt it at times with Citius, as a lot of this negative press was coming out. It's like they're big as soon as an athlete did something great, or big with results, or big with like showing this is the records that were set. And then it was like, oh, maybe they're in financial trouble, and it seemed like crickets.
Right. Well, that's where it's like, if you were a journalist, you'd be digging into that, right? And you'd have insider info because you have communication with Grand Slam track and with the athletes, and you'd be reporting on like, hey, these athletes aren't getting paid. Why aren't they getting paid? But they didn't talk about that, which if you're not, if you're, I'll just use Chris's own words. If you're little J and you're more influencer type, I guess you don't have to do that. But that's when the partnership should be known, because that's why you're not doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
Don't
you want to
come
make
here
sure
for
you
news
still
on
get,
the event.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you want to make sure you're still going to get paid, right? Or whatever. So you don't want to like bite the hand that feeds you. I get that. But was a huge story, and that wasn't being reported on by them. It was like people outside our typical journalistic space were the ones that were digging into it and posting about it and writing articles about it. And that would have been, it was huge running news, and it was almost like it just didn't happen if you only looked at their
Right. You wouldn't have known.
platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't think, I don't know, I guess I don't want to say, I don't think that they're the only ones.
Oh, absolutely
I
not.
think it happens pretty frequently, even with influencers and partnerships, where it's like, of course I'm using these ketones and this is an ad, but unless you put it in there, and I think it's just a good reminder for everyone who's creating content, whether that's athletes who are content creators or influencers or whatever it is, you got to share those things and have to be, again, it's transparency is a word I keep going back to with Grand Slam track, and it's their word. They put it out there, and it just feels like one more example where, and I think Chavez said it was like, well, you should have known. Why didn't, like, we did so much for them, obviously, but
I don't like that response.
you can't.
And I love him,
Yeah.
but that's if someone's new to the sport, or I didn't even know. I kind of assumed, I'm like, oh, they're getting paid under the table, which is what I thought.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were like officially getting paid. You know what I mean? But that's just not how it works. And I think like when I have listened to their pod, they do a great job of being like, oh, this episode's brought to you by Olipop or this or that. And like, but it's not as clear on the social media, right? And it's not as clear on the reporting stuff. And so, and again, I don't even want to attack them, but I do think it raises a much bigger question because I think we see this a lot. And yeah, it's also a good reminder for us,
Right.
to always make sure that we are being clean and clear about who is supporting us financially. I think that we have done a good job. We're straightforward on this pod. If we're talking about ketones or lever or Lagoon Pillow, they are helping us out on this episode. We've never shied away from that, but it's just a good reminder that we need to be clear with that. I think for the people that there were people who didn't care and there were people that were upset. And it seemed like the people who were upset felt like it broke a journalistic ethical line.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see how they feel that way. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and it doesn't, but just to be clear, it doesn't matter if you're an influencer, just a social, you write on social, or if you are a big J journalist, if you're getting money, you have to disclose that. You don't have to disclose the amount, but you have to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even with, this is just things that I've read, big J journalists, even now, you're seeing people get free product or free services, and or even like there's this PR machine that's setting up these stories, and then they get the story placed and they get paid by another entity. So it's gotten really, really gray. And I mean, you're not seeing like when they get free products and they're doing reviews and things like that. It's not like I was gifted this full transparent. Like a lot of people leave that out, and you feel like you're reading a product review and you're like, oh, this is really cool. You bought it, you tried it out, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, I used to have a friend who was in PR. That's what she did.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. Brands would pay her gobs of money and then she would hustle, and she developed all these relationships with these major outlets, with major writers, with major, whether it was New York Times or Runner's World or whatever it is, and she developed all these relationships, and then she would eventually get them to write about said athlete that was sponsored by this brand, right? And it comes across as just like this really great profile on this athlete, or it's it's all meaningful stuff. It's interesting to read. But if you knew that this all started, between 6 months to 24 months ago, the PR machine was pushing this to happen, then it doesn't feel as like, oh, this is like a super interesting art. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just think
you would read it differently, right? Like who's in the story, who are the stakeholders, whose quotes are in there. And at the end of the day, like, what are they trying to sell me?
Right. Yes.
And that's the PR's job to get that placed so that those people can come in and put in their lines. And
I think this is a conversation like just nationally on all of our media, but I think it bothers us with running because we feel like, I don't know, we feel like we have some sort of standard and ethical belief in what we're doing. So I think that's why the feathers that it ruffled, And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Like, I know that Citius has had a lot of different partnerships is the word they're using.
Sure.
Are they going to be super transparent about those moving forward?
Yeah. I mean, I think, I guess I can't think of anything else where I've been like, that's a head scratcher. Were they partners or not? I'm like meat specifically. I'm sure there's something. I've seen them do stuff with brands.
Yeah.
And they've been pretty upfront about that. I guess another angle to this too, which I would love to get your thoughts on if you want to dive into it. But I feel like Kyle Merber kind of worked both sides of the situation. Do you think that him being a stakeholder or an owner, like having some ownership in Citius, but then also sitting on the Grand Slam track, like what his responsibility here is that something that's not being talked about enough, or is it like it doesn't matter?
Well, again, I think it comes back to just like that is a conflict of interest, right?
Right.
If you're a stakeholder at Citius and then they're the ones that land the big partnership, even though you're not at Citius anymore and you've moved on and you're working for Grand Slam Track, that's just like a basic conflict of interest. I'm not trying to slam Merber or anything. It's just like, it is though.
Right.
if you're working for the organization who is now starting to partner with people, and there's a place that you used to work, you no longer work there, but you're still a stakeholder.
Yeah.
I,
I would
I
love to know the
don't.
timing of it. Now, I don't know if it makes a difference, but I do feel like they had so many conversations, and I feel like Chris Chavez, Kyle Merber, Michael Johnson were having these conversations. The league's in motion, and then, like, it seems like the deal's done, and then Kyle Merber leaves to go to Grand Slam track. So it was almost like he helped the sale, but then he also got the job. Still kind of a conflict of interest,
Right.
but I don't know if the timing of it makes a difference. Like, oh, I was at Slam track and then helped my buddies get this deal.
But that, like, different situation, but that was like with Seb Coe continuing to have a Nike contract while he
Right.
was being the head of World Athletics. It was like, you can't do
Can't
that.
do that.
And finally, there was enough public people being like, you actually can't do that. Like, I know that existed before, but you can't do that. And so finally, he publicly announced that he was parting ways with
Right.
Nike in that capacity. So it's, yeah, I just feel like, I mean, I feel like transparency is the word of the year.
It's fair.
And again, like, I feel for Kyle Merber. Like, he went all in on this, right? So
Yeah.
he left his, I mean, I don't know him, but I believe he left his position at Citius to go do this, and now it's fallen apart. So, like, I really feel for him. And, there was people that were like, hey, or even Citius said, like, we want to see evolution in the sport. We're going to support this stuff. Yeah, we all should support it. We should all be excited. We should all want to see ventures succeed, but that doesn't necessarily, like, erase the laws.
The fundamental things you have to do correctly.
Yeah.
Business ethics, morals. Yeah.
So I think the reaction has been interesting, and I think it'll be interesting moving forward. I don't think, like, Cydia should be burned at the stake or anything like that, but I think maybe a response of, we thought it was obvious, now they know is not good enough. It has to be obvious. It's not that it should be obvious. It has to be
stated.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And also, I mean, has there been an apology? Is that something that there's been like, hey, we fucked up, like, we're super sorry? Or has it been like, no, this is fine?
I don't think there's been an apology. I did read an article that was on Let's Run. I think Jonathan Galt wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it was one of the brothers. I actually don't know, but they did get some quotes from them, and there was no apology. It was like, we're not big J journalism. We thought it was obvious. We announced a partnership, or maybe they announced a partnership on their podcast, which, again, that's the thing, is it's like, if you're not a listener to the podcast, but also that, like, that's just not how the rules are. The rules say every post, it has to be stated.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's been an apology. I don't know that they believe they owe one.
I guess that's my point, or my question is, like, do they view this as something that they're going to, hey, we're going to change. We learned from this. Is this a learning lesson, or is this like, why are you guys getting pissed about nothing?
I think it's the latter, but I don't want to speak for them, but it feels like they're kind of like, why are you mad? Like, it's not a big deal, and we didn't get paid.
I would love some clarity on that, I guess. It's like, let's find out let's get a statement on that specifically.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do moving forward. Continue exactly how we did, or, oh, we're going to be clearer about that. We're going to be more transparent. We're going to make a change.
And for me, it also just points out how Grand Slam was a disaster from the beginning. Like, seeing all those venues that are still owed money, and I don't know, they had so much life in that final meet, the one that was at where Penn Relays are. It was exciting. It was filled. Like, there's a place for these meets. People want to see stuff. People want to celebrate the event, but I just wish they could go back and just start small, proof of concept, and build it.
Yeah, I think, well, obviously you're going to plan your budget completely differently when you think you have an extra 30 million. That's a huge part of it. I don't know what happened with that. Was it agreed to but predicated on meet one going well, or
that's
like
my understanding. It
Yeah.
was agreed. It was based on, this is what we get based on what we see at meet one. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been
Yeah.
told. And then meet one, there were great athletes there, but
That's a tricky situation. I mean, like, I'm thinking about, like, what do you do different? How would you change it? Like, if you go, okay, meet one, like, we have to be a hit from out the gates.
mhm.
We're going to spend as much as we need to spend to build the hype, to get the excitement. And then it just, like, do you spend less on meet one? Because does that, I think that makes it even worse.
Well, I think
So
you
how
go to
you're
a
not going to,
smaller venue.
yeah. Well,
The venue was,
like that you go to a different place, you go to,
yeah.
like, but if, I don't know what the sequence of, like, doing things was, like, the order of operations was, like, we just have to go big, and we know Jamaicans love track, and they get out there and they're loud, and it's going to be an event. Like,
But
they
they didn't
fucking
go.
love it, right? Like, but
Yeah.
if you're like, we're going to spend because this is where it's going to be the best.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I guess to me, I have questions, and especially after doing Save the 10,000, where we're like, okay, like, we want the stadium, we want that importance, we want, like, the screen, we want the broadcasts, all of those things, and we just have to show proof of concept so that we can do this again. But obviously, the budgeting was very different, where we were scrapping it up as we went.
Yeah,
Whereas if
but
you're like, "Oh,"
we had the budget. And in
right,
fact, we raised more than we needed. We gave it to the athletes.
right, yeah, very different.
But our dream wasn't his dream. His dream was huge. His dream was completely changing the sport.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I mean, he just bit off more than he could chew, which
yeah.
is, I'm just thinking about, like, how I would spend. It's like, do you play conservative because I lose that 30 million if this doesn't go well?
Well, I feel
Or
like
do you spend it because it has to go well, or you lose that, like, I don't know.
I know. I think he felt the latter. Like, got to spend it and make this big and prove that it's
Right.
big. But that was the dice he rolled, and it didn't work out that way.
Right.
Like, it was not attended. It was not
Yeah.
watched. I'm not trying to be a jerk. Like, you can go
Right.
look up the viewership, right? So it's like,
Right.
it didn't work out that way. It did start to slowly gain some momentum. That's why I was
Yeah.
shocked that the fourth one was canceled. Now I know
Right.
why, because they were already millions in debt. But the third one seemed to really have some momentum. It seemed like good energy. They shortened it down to those 2 days. There seemed to be good crowds. It was like, okay, they're getting somewhere. But
Yeah.
yeah, it just,
I mean, you have to go back to that original investor and be like, hey, not the first meet. Give yourself, like,
right.
the longest time frame as
Right.
possible.
Or give me a year. Like,
yeah, give me
you know?
one season.
Yeah.
But in having to prove yourself with one meet, I mean, the concept hadn't even caught on yet. There was just so many questions. Like, that's a tough place to be in. But also, if that's what you negotiated, then you got to deliver.
Well, that's what you negotiated. Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I'm just trying to, like, mentally grapple.
You're
through
being nice,
all
and I'm
no.
like harsh on this one. I don't know why. I
Yeah.
think because we had a tiny taste of it with Save the 10, and it's like, yeah, you can only do what you can afford to do, you know? Like, you can't overpromise what you don't have. And so we can't promise more prize money than this, and we can't promise whatever we can't promise it. So this is what we can promise. We can promise the venue on this night, and we'll have drug testing there, and it'll be under the lights, and we will show it. And that's what we can promise. We can't promise
Right.
anything about that, you know?
And
But
then we'll
again,
do our best
I
to have
do
next year. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I also can see how Michael Johnson's vision was so much bigger than ours.
Yeah.
But also it feels like ego got in the way of, like, a smart business plan.
Sure. And
Yeah.
I don't think it was, like, malicious either.
No,
I
I
think he
don't
was
either.
like,
Mm-mm.
these are rock stars. We want them treated like rock stars. We want them to fly like rock stars, be in hotels that, it should be, they're the best athletes in the world. Let's show that we can do this, but we can't yet.
Right.
Like, we're not there yet. We have
Right.
to, we can't do it overnight. And I think, I don't know, the whole instant gratification thing right now is hot. People want things right now.
Yeah.
But that was more of a long game. Let's build this thing. Let's grow this thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyhow,
You guys can look it up. They have what not everybody is owed, but what a lot of people are owed. If you want to look it up, there's a lot of money out there that people have not gotten. So
yeah, that's terrible.
yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about Save the 10,000, just, like, really briefly, because we talked about it here?
Sure.
I mean, I feel like we've hemmed and hawed this entire
Mhm.
fall. We've had meetings. And we have a survey out now. Do you want to talk
We
about
do
the
have a
survey?
survey out. Yeah, I think that we put on Save the 10. I'm super proud of what we did. And I'm not like, oh, we didn't get the fastest of the fast. We don't want to do it. I think what you and I want to make sure we're actually serving a purpose. And so if Save the 10,000, we don't want to compete with the 10. The 10 is the what is it? It's usually the first weekend of March. No.
I think so. Early.
Okay. Or April.
I mean, it's like
Oh my God.
Stanford's and then
Yeah,
the
last
10.
weekend of March, maybe.
Yeah.
Last weekend of March. And so that's been there. That's been there for many years. We aren't trying to be that. We just want it to be another opportunity. But I think we're wondering if it's too soon in May, if it's not really necessary, if there's not enough athletes that really need it, then are we trying to solve a problem that's not there? I mean, we had the people that came were awesome, but we didn't have the numbers we thought we were going to have. And it could be because it was the first year. There's a lot of things, but we were wondering and you had the idea, what if it was in the fall? So that's what the survey is out right now, to see if athletes would want a 10,000 option in the fall. And so I don't, we've had so many meetings about this, like, just do we push forward and do it again? Or do we take that effort and do something else that can reach more people? Like maybe have a mass race where people can come and celebrate together. And so we don't know where we are, right?
Right. I think it's something that we're still talking about. And I think it's good to bring up because I'm sure, we announced it January at Houston last year, and it's kind of like just gone silent after the race. But it is still important. We are still thinking about it. But I agree. And we obviously agree in that it's not to do just to do. This isn't like, I don't want to, neither of us want this to be an ego thing. This is like, can we do something for athletes?
Well, we wanted to do something to help the sport.
Right. Does it matter? And I don't, and the other side of that with the ego is, I'm not going to not do an idea because at first I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Like, we don't like the road 10K because we're actually trying to save the track. Like, if that's what's better, if that's what athletes want, if they want the fall, if they want 2 opportunities in the spring, but it needs to be a little, we're listening to everyone and trying to figure out, 1, if it even makes sense, and 2, what's the best opportunity for.
I'll own that folks. I'm the one that was against the road 10. Just, you don't need to own that.
I think we said the same thing.
I'm like, we're trying to save the 10,000 on the track. It has to be on the track. And now it's sort of been, now I'm starting to think, well, maybe it is better to just have it on the road in the fall.
Well, you have to listen to the feedback, right? We talked to so many athletes and it was like, yeah, this would be a great opportunity. And then it just doesn't fit for whatever reasons. And there's no bad reason. Right. But a lot of folks got their qualifiers on the road. And it's like, okay, if that's what the athletes want and there's a greater need for that, and it ultimately gets people into the 10K on the track, then it's still doing a good thing. Maybe it's not our vision of save the 10,000, but we're fine being adaptable. And like, this isn't to puff ourselves up and feel special. It's to give the athletes something. No, we wanted
useful. To give the athletes, something that was helpful. So so right now there is supposedly,
allegedly,
someone at USATF is reaching out to athletes. I mean, last year I reached out to coaches and agents, and they all seemed really excited about it. And then when push came to shove, they all had a reason why they weren't going to send their athletes. And I get that it was new, and I get all of that, but it's like we want to help, but we want to make sure that we're doing something that actually is worth our time and effort and helps. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up because it does not sound like there will be a Save the 10,000 in May.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like, is there a place for it? Does it need to be shifted to the roads? Does it need to be later in the year? What is something that actually helps? And if we can get that feedback and find that out, then we'll move forward with a new fun idea. And if we can't, I don't know, we'll put our effort into something else.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's ways to create community as well.
Yeah.
And still, if we can generate money to help athletes, great.
Right.
So there's a lot of things up in the air with that right now. Point being, it's not on a schedule yet, but it hasn't been, we haven't completely let go of the idea. It's not dead. No. So that's the Save the 10,000 update. I took us on an unexpected topic.
I'm glad you did that. That was good. That was good.
All right.
Okay, well, there
What
was
else do we
a
have?
race this weekend that filled the
Yeah.
need that I'm going to just flat out admit I did not pay attention to because I did not want to waste my phone battery on paying attention to it. But there was the marathon project yesterday, or on Sunday by the time this pod
Yeah.
comes out, which serves the need for athletes trying to get their Olympic trials qualifiers and maybe even Olympic qualifiers. Did you
Yeah.
watch
It
it?
was I watched I'll be totally honest. I watched the first like 90 minutes on YouTube, and then it was on Flow Track, and then it just cut out and I was like, "Oh, this is super strange." But it was as in like, "Hey, go watch the rest on Flow Track."
Oh, okay.
But I really wish that they had put that into the commentary. Hey, this broadcast is going to end in the next few minutes. Catch the rest on FlowTrack, sign up, get a subscription, whatever, however you want to pitch it. But it was strangely abrupt. And I was like, is it going to come back on? And then
You're
maybe
like, what
that's just a me
happened?
thing. Maybe I missed the messaging, but I'm a ding dong. I was like, refresh, refresh. Like, this is weird. So then I just followed up with the rest on live tracking. And yeah, it was a good, I think it's a great opportunity to go run fast and turn off your brain and just not have any stressors, like the least amount of variables possible.
Right.
And I think you saw that in the racing. You saw a group of guys go out and try to like just take a big crack, and I think they're out in 208 pace. I have to look it up, but yeah, it was like bunch of dudes in there, and it's the big swing. I think Brandon Schrader's a 209 mid, 209 high guy. Was it Chalimo who?
Hmm.
I mean, he's a fantastic athlete on the track, just hasn't connected the dots in the marathon. He faded to 10 high mids, but he wasn't looking to go and run okay. That
Right.
was not the place to do that, and so it was fun to watch them take their swing, but I also thought that second pack was not far back of them. And honestly, this will sound super lame now, but I was like, I think JP Flavin will win this. Flavin. Um, and he just looks super fit. Like you could look at his Strava, see how he was running the workouts. And I think that when you saw the opening miles and he was sort of in the back of that pack, that second group, it's like, oh, he's just doing exactly what this course is set up to do. Like, let the pacers pace. I'm going to lock in. I'm not going to think at all. I'm going to take my drinks and let everyone else just kind of ride the train. And I think he said it in his post race interview. Like, I didn't come in here thinking like, oh, I'm fighting for the win. This is how I'm going to manage it. But it was there, and then I just tackled it.
Mm.
So that the win was cool. I think on a course like that and a day like that, the biggest thing you're after is a time.
Yeah.
And his time was super impressive. I think he was 2:10:50 in Boston. I've talked about Boston being a fast day. So it's like, I don't know who's going to run, any better than that anytime soon. Like, how much better? We obviously had Connor Mance do it. But JP dropped a ton of time off that and ran 2:09:18, I believe.
Nice.
So a nice step forward. And I think he ran pretty much dead even splits, maybe 2-second negative split. So there's like more in the tank.
Yeah.
If he gets in another group that's a little bit better, I think if when you see someone eke out that little bit of a negative split, and he looks smooth coming in, so I think there's more time for him to trim off, and he'll be fun to watch.
That's
And
cool.
then I think was it Turner Wiley? In second, I believe. He's a Brooks guy out of Washington, another big PB, crushed 210 and looked like he was running really hard. So that was fun to watch. And then
That's
on the
awesome.
women's side, Prishka Chirono won, just took it from the early miles, like left the pacer behind. Was like, nope, I don't want to run with this group here. I just want to start doing my own thing, and controlled it from the front. Faded a fair amount, but there was a few dropouts behind her, and yeah, she just controlled the day really.
I was reading about her today because she ran the Boulderthon and won
Yeah.
quite handedly the half marathon there. And I was reading that she ran the 5,000 at the 2008 Olympics, which whenever I read stuff like that, I'm like,
Huh?
so we were on the same starting line and you're still running. How are
Yeah.
you still running? That's so impressive. But she's 45 and has a few kids and took some time off from running and now is coming back. So yeah, 2:25:17 for her, which is pretty
Yeah.
good.
Not too shabby.
No.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see like where she goes from here. Like
Yeah, like does
what are
she
the
continue
goals?
on and
What do
get a
you
sponsorship and like go for it again?
right.
Yeah. Yeah, she ran a PR too.
I know. That's crazy. I think they were saying her PR was like 227
Yeah.
prior, and she was
That
running like low, like 520s, maybe sub 520s early on. You're like, this usually doesn't end well,
right, right.
but she just kept it together. I mean, obviously, it was probably a positive split and
Yeah.
probably a fairly painful few last miles, but
But
she
she
got a
got
win and
there.
she got a PB, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's a smoking time. So
It is a
good
smoking
on
time.
her. So that was fun. And I don't know. I mean, it's just one more race in the late fall, winter here. I think it's another thing like Save the 10 where you start thinking about like, okay, how does it fit in with CIM? How does it
I was
fit
going to
in with
ask you.
Houston? How does it fit in with Chicago? All the different things. I think the men's side sold out. I want to say they, I don't maybe I think they had 50 people. I don't know if maybe they had it open to 100.
Okay, I was going to ask you because you were at the first marathon project, right?
I was not. It was COVID. It
Were
was
you but
I
were you
called.
doing the TV or something?
Yeah.
Okay. And this was the second one?
Hmm.
Okay. So I was just thinking, it seems like it's a great idea. It's on this very controlled course, easy to get your bottles, all that stuff, easy to see your coaches. Like, I really love this concept. But I was going to ask you, as the queen of the marathon, what is the why would you pick it over CIM where there's like so many more people, or even Houston? Like, what? I'm not putting it down at all. I'm just
Right.
like, what is the athlete that needs this instead of that?
I don't know. I mean, I think you have credibility from the first time you did it. The first
Hmm.
time obviously was COVID. It's the end of the year. You're like, I got to keep my sponsorship. I
Yeah.
got to hit a time bonus. Like, I don't want to get reduced, whatever. There's a
The
million
times were
reasons.
amazing that first year.
Yeah, there's a million reasons to do it because all the races had been canceled and they were like, we'll figure it out. We're going to put
Hmm.
something on. You can run here. And people were motivated. So that like establishes credibility. They have great, course records and
Hmm.
they've proved that they can put on an event in a large scale. I think the couple gap years probably make it a little bit more difficult, but at least you have sort of that foundation.
Yeah.
So there's a selling point to the athletes, but I still think it's a struggle. I think, like I'm not sure what makes someone pick CIM or marathon pro. Like it could go either way. Really, just in your build up. Like, oh no, I'm a little dinged up. I need a little more time. I can't do
Yeah.
CIM. There's something there. Um, but yeah, I mean, and I guess on the other side of it is Houston, which the obvious thing is end of year bonuses happen this year, not
Right.
next year. So that would be a very reasonable thing to separate it from Houston.
Yeah.
You want to run
I didn't even
fast,
think
and
about that.
it's like the last possible moment to get that
Yeah.
bonus. And I could see even if you're in CIM, you got through 16, you're like, this not happening. Whatever. I woke up with a scratchy throat. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to do, the marathon project and try to hustle to get in that race. But I do think it's a tough sell. I think that
Hmm.
they've put on another good event. They have, shown that you can run fast there. The weather's going to be pretty good. I think there was a few people that said it got hot towards the end. Maybe there was something about the weather not cooperating late, and I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like I've been running on ice, so I think it's probably about as good as it's going to get anywhere in the country. I think the San
Right.
Diego folks were like, it was too humid. So there's always something. I think it's
Right.
about as good as it's going to get for a marathon. And
Yeah.
they even moved this. I think they moved the start up earlier, so they're being super accommodating to give you everything that's primed for a good race.
Right.
So I'm not sure I would let you use the weather excuse.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's like, I think opportunities are great. I
Yeah.
hadn't thought about the end of the year thing either. I think it's just sort of like save the 10. It's hard to know when to slot some of this stuff in, right?
Right.
When you're slotting in around existing races that have been there for so long and the infrastructure is already there and the athletes can count on it. So you want to give another opportunity, but it's like, when is the right time? But I didn't even think about the bonus thing. I mean, that's really smart. Like
Yeah.
there's so many athletes that are trying to fulfill stuff right before the end of the year. So that timing
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I think the bottle thing too. I don't know how easy it is to get at CIM. I'm not sure. It seems like they've been pretty accommodating, but if you're, I don't want to say sub elite because these guys are all elite, but there's a tier to it. Like, I don't
Sure.
think a lot of these guys could go to Chicago and get bottles. It'd be like, they can
Sure.
give you a bib, maybe.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's that. I think the bottle part's probably significant. Another thing
Yeah.
that might be different. I don't know about CIM though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was, exciting stuff on both sides, and it sounds like they want to have they have plans for 2026, and
Good.
they
Yeah.
have the date set. So, that's how you create momentum, like year after,
Sure.
it's just a slow
Slow
grind. Like,
burn.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good to
Cool.
see them get this year off the ground.
I know. I wish was planning on watching it originally. So I promise I will probably end up watching it while I'm running on the treadmill, but I will definitely pay attention next year because I'm going to have
Yeah.
my generator. And even if I lose power, I'll still be able to watch it.
Still be tuning in. I love it.
Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
Have we covered everything and then some?
I think so. I think we were just going to say that the returning champions are coming back to Boston and both the men's and women's American record holders. But there we said it, which is exciting.
That's a conversation for another pod, perhaps.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, there was Bowerman's as well, Bowerman Awards. I
yeah.
didn't keep a close eye on that, but I'll dig in.
I don't really either.
Perhaps
I think
a
Doris
teaser.
won.
She did.
Yeah, as she should.
Fair. A teaser for next week, perhaps.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
maybe a recap of the year.
Yeah, we could do that. It'll come out after the new year. Will you guys still listen?
Another Tuesday, no?
No. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Okay, yeah, good. Yes, we'll do some recaps.
Well, louder?
You're right. That's a good idea. We'll recap some of our favorite moments and stuff like that. That'll be fun. We can revisit the fun of 2025, and then we can put it to bed and put it behind us and move on to 2026. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, Chris is confirming we're on the right page. Okay. Do you want to do a top 5? Do you want to do a top 5 to send this home?
Let's do it.
Rapid fire.
I'm trying to think. Well, first of all, I do like this season of the year. I know a lot of people get really stressed. I have also been stressed, but not because of the season. I like that things shut down for a little bit. I know it makes for a scramble after the new year, but I actually love it when they're like, well, let's just get to that next year. And I'm like, sweet, can't wait. I like being home and being with my family. So just to this time of year, I know it causes stress for a lot of people, but I personally love this time of year. I look forward to it every year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
I love having my kid home. I love having Cole home. It's so fun just having him around.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
Can't beat that. Was I in San Diego last time I recorded? I think I was.
Yeah, you were.
I'm gonna go with time with the family. So I got to hang out with my sister and her husband, and Ryan was out there. It was a quick trip, very quick. Mom, don't get mad at me. It was like in, out, but we did get a very nice dinner in, and we got to catch up. And in real life, it's always fun. So it was good to see those two.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to re-shout out all the people that offered to help us over the past 5 days, because it really was amazing. And I'm really thankful that strangers on the internet care, offering up hand warmers and dog walks. And I just really appreciate it so much. So to my friends, to the people I don't even know who offered to help, thank you so much. It was really, really nice of everybody.
I love when community comes together.
Yes.
You have this a tiny little hardship. It's like,
yes.
Is it really difficult? But people are like, we will make sure it's not.
I know, people are like, oh, you can stay at my sister's, but they meant it. They meant it.
No, for sure.
It was really, really awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. I'm going to go with Charlie Lawrence, who ran Desert Solstice 100K on the track. Sounds absolutely insane. My IT bands are barking just thinking about that, saying it out loud. They're like, oh no. But he dominated the 100K. He tried to take on the world record, sub 6. It was like, he was there. He was a little behind. He would find something. And he ultimately did not get the world record in the 100K or sub 6. He missed it by just a little bit, but he did get the American record, beating Jim Walmsley's time. So pretty legit. And it was awesome. He crossed the finish line. They had the broadcast. it was just like a quiet, it was warm. Like by the time he was finishing up, it was warm. They're like, it's around 75, probably feels like 80. So if he wanted to complain about the weather, I would give him
Right.
that.
And he was running 100K.
100K on a track. Yeah. Insane across the board. But he falls onto the infield and I'm watching the broadcast and he's just like, fuck, my hip hurts so bad. And it was just like, it was so funny. It was just like everything you would expect to come out of someone's mouth at the end of 100K. And it was, I loved it because it was just so Charlie. But I'm pumped for him. I was really proud of him. He took a big swing and he still held it together. He said he wanted to drop out around 20. He's like, I don't know. I just gritted through. So congrats, Charlie.
I'm going to expose myself for not knowing that much, but someone posted like the top 10 all-time 100K times. And I think the last one that was really fast was not done in record eligible shoes.
It was the Adidas event. He did that as well.
So
yeah.
I feel like the world record, I thought I read it was 605 and he was 607. And I could not believe over 100K, these top 10 times were all within just a few minutes of each other.
It broke my heart.
I was like,
you
that's
could see
crazy.
On, and then he would slip, and then it's just like you could be half a second off for 20 miles, but that's significant.
Right.
Like, okay, now you're way off. So but it's so close.
It's so close. And it's amazing to me that all of these greats that have run it now, and they're so close over such a long distance, it really just like, it blew my mind. Because I was like, these guys are maxing out.
Yeah.
Because there's not this outlier of 550 or 545.
Dude,
they're all 605, 606, 607, 608. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching Walmsley. I think that was right after Marathon Project a few years back. But it was so close, and you're just like, come on, dude, like freaking sprint, like lift your knees. What's going on? It's not the same, right? the things that you tell yourself at the end of a 5K are very different than at the end of 100K. Yeah. But you're just like watching it slip away. And then you have this, like, for them mentally, it's like, well, I don't want to try this again anytime soon.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Know? But Charlie's crazy.
He is crazy. He'll be back out it soon. Yeah.
So
that was a really good one.
That was fun.
I don't really have anything. Okay, this is super random, and I don't even know what marathon it was at, but Jess Tren from Australia.
Oh, yeah.
She set the Australian record.
It's Valencia now.
Yes, in Valencia. Thank you. So I was just watching this thing on her. I've never met her, but I just like following her. I think she's fun to follow.
Up. Great person.
Okay, good. See, I've never even met her, but she seems great. And then she was talking about how she was running. And then I think it was her husband was like, it was either her husband or her coach, maybe the same person. I actually don't know. But he was like, you're 5 seconds off the Australian record. And so it's just like you were saying about Charlie. But she wasn't running 100K. She was running a marathon. And she was able to like dig down and get back on the
Drive those knees.
Yes. And she ended up getting the Australian record by 9 seconds. And so right before we met for this call today, I didn't finish watching it, but I was watching this little thing about her and that. And I thought, how cool, to have it be so close. But you hear these stories. I've been there where it's so close and it doesn't go your way. And to have it be so close and to be able to find that last little bit. So just shout out to her. I think she has 2 kids now, maybe even 3. Maybe 2 kids.
3.
Yeah, I mean, she's amazing. Just out there and just still loving the sport. And now she's the Australian record holder, 221 something. This is a really bad top 5 because I don't know enough detail, but
you could just say Jess Tren.
Yeah, she's awesome. So shout out to her. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great one. I thought that was a really cool race. And those are the stories that like they run so goddamn fast at Valencia. Yes. You're like, you could miss that, but it was just very special. And I ran with her behind her at Gold Coast half years back, and she's just a really great person. So kudos to her. I'll thumbs up that one.
Good. Okay.
All right. We'll see you next week.